It's Metal Church right here on your Classic Metal Show with Fake Healer. And I just want to remind you all that open enrollment for Obamacare is over in 2 days.
Oh, really? Did you get your signature in there?
Absolutely not.
No?
No.
Oh.
My hate and disdain for this current administration, and especially the head of this administration, is I would rather die.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much hate and disdain I have for it.
I won't pay that. Fuck that. There's no way am I supporting that. It's a fucking criminal bill.
I agree.
Fuck that.
All right. Just a caution to the kids.
Yes.
The next 2 hours, the final 2 hours of the Classic Metal Show.
Yeah.
Everything that I have on the table, and it wasn't meant to be this way, it just worked out this way.
Okay.
So it's either me,
yeah,
or it's just the state of society.
Okay.
Everything that we do in the next 2 hours will be sexual in nature.
All right. Let me strap in for this.
Just letting you know.
You mean we're not going to talk about fucking Muslims?
No.
No? Dude.
I'm not going to talk about the waste of life that Scott Weiland was. I'm not going to discuss that.
What?
We already discussed that back in May.
What are we... You're ruining it. You're ruining it. The kids love to hate on us when we talk about politics.
Well, I've got some shit here that I don't normally have
this much
emotional reactions to stories.
Okay.
But I'm bringing one story to the table tonight.
Okay.
That just infuriated me.
Oh, I like it. Awesome.
And I'll see if you have the same reaction.
Okay. Is this the first one, or are you going to do something else
I'm
first?
going to do a couple things first, and then I think we'll top it off with that.
Okay. Fair enough. I even sent you a sexual...
You did, and I have it pulled up, and that's actually going to be a part of this montage. It's going to be the sexual montage.
Was this Snatch Chat, or is it not only Snatch?
No, it's not Snatch. It's not only Snatch.
Okay.
We did 2 weeks ago. We talked about the sentencing of Jared Fogle.
Yes. All right, we're going to start with a hot story. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're going to start with his partner in crime.
Oh, no. Okay.
As you know, Russell Taylor, who was the executive director of Jared Fogle's foundation.
Okay, I did not know that, but okay.
All right. He was the guy who supposedly sent Jared the child porn.
Okay.
He was the guy who was arrested first.
All right.
And then that's when the house of cards started tumbling.
Right.
Is because after they busted this Taylor guy, then they followed the trail to Jared, and then they busted Jared, and now Jared's going to jail for 15 years.
Right.
But this Taylor guy, this Russell Taylor, who was the head of Jared's foundation,
okay,
his sentencing is coming up here.
All right.
So he's going to find out what his fate is.
Wow. So he was arrested first, but he's getting sentenced second?
That is correct.
Oh, that's weird.
It is weird, but I think because Jared was such an integral part of this guy's situation, I think they wanted to ferret out what Jared had going on first before they sentenced this guy to see how much of an accomplice he was.
Right. Okay.
So they could sentence him appropriately.
Right. Okay.
I think that's what it boiled down to.
All right.
So apparently, Jared had a stranglehold, psychological stranglehold, according to and this goes back to what you said when we covered the Jared story about how these doctors and analysis, they try to give them an excuse for their behavior.
Instead of just saying he's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, more or less.
Right.
Well, the psychologist that analyzed this Russell Taylor,
sure,
he also was trying to give Russell Taylor an out for his behavior.
Okay.
And apparently Jared not only pulled the psychological strings on this guy, according to this guy.
Okay.
He also controlled the purse strings, which is a big motivator.
All right.
So get this. If this story is true, of course, I don't know if it's true, but if it is true,
right,
Jared was even a sicker fuck than we already know him to be.
Okay.
All right, here's the story. Jared Fogle had a psychologically abusive relationship with Russell Taylor, the former executive director of Jared Fogle's foundation, in which Fogle would refer to himself as, drumroll please, Taylor's daddy.
Oh, ew.
According to the court papers filed in federal court in Indiana on Friday.
Taylor's daddy?
His daddy.
Oh, yuck.
The claims came to light in a filing regarding the sentencing for Taylor, who agreed to plead guilty to 12 counts of child exploitation and 1 count of child pornography.
All right.
The sentencing memorandum claims that Fogle had a controlling influence over Taylor and would remind him frequently that he controlled his employment and his home.
Okay.
Mr. Fogle would refer to himself as Mr. Taylor's daddy, and there would be discussion on how much Mr. Taylor loved daddy and reminding him that daddy was paying for his things.
Oh, yeah.
Got a kiss for daddy?
I hate this story already. Just yuck.
Exactly. Almost as shockingly as the memorandum claims that Fogle would even go as far as making Mr. Taylor eat things that were inconsistent with his gluten intolerance.
Oh, Jesus God.
Eat it up for daddy.
So Jared had this fucking adult sucking his cock, too.
Probably.
Come on. Had to.
Yeah. The filing also claims that Taylor, now 44, was sexually assaulted on a regular basis as a youth by a neighbor and a neighbor's son, and that he suffers from a history of mental illness that likely dates back to the trauma he suffered as a child.
Okay.
Taylor's attorneys are requesting a sentence in a range of 15 and 22.8 years.
All right.
Prosecutors are reportedly asking for a 35-year sentence, though the sentencing judge is not bound by either of those requests.
Okay.
In November, former Subway pitchman Fogle was sentenced to 15.6 years in prison for conspiracy for receiving child pornography and traveling to have sex with a minor.
Right.
So there you go.
Wow. This is like brutal.
I know. This fucking guy, this Jared Fogle,
right?
He lucks out in life.
Yep.
Luck.
Yeah.
Totally. This is something that the Moose is so envious of.
Yep.
That this guy just lucked out to be the pitch man because somebody just happened to stumble across him and his Subway eating habits.
Right.
And decided to make him the pitch man. But this guy, instead of using his money for humanitarian whatever, he used it to further his own sick behavior.
Right.
And now this guy, this Taylor guy, he's up for sentencing now. So of course he's trying to lessen his sentence to say he was a victim of some kind.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to fly.
Right.
Although this sounds really gross. Do it for daddy.
Daddy controls the purse strings.
Ugh. Do you think? Okay, so let's just role play this out a little bit. So they're having a business meeting, and he's calling him Mr. Fogle, and he's calling him Mr. What's his last name?
Taylor.
Mr. Taylor. And do you think they say, okay, everybody leave? Oh, you stay back for 1 second. And then he says, and then Jared looks at him and goes, well, what do you got for daddy?
Yeah. What do you got for daddy today?
That is fucking horrendous.
I know. So, Jared took his position as having the money and the power to obviously play out his sick fantasies or whatever.
Right.
And he controlled people. Money is power. You know that. I know that.
Yep.
But this guy took it to the extreme,
Wow, that is to the extreme.
Ugh. And I agree with you. That's an ugh.
That is just hard.
Ugh. Gross.
Dude, okay, let's say if you were one of the investigators and you had to go through these two guys' hard drives, would you be able to do that?
Yeah, it'd be tough.
I mean, what makes you think, all right, I can do this and just go through fucking thousands of fucking pictures of child porn?
You'd have to go, look at this smut.
Ugh. Like you have to catalog each of it?
Right.
Can you imagine sitting there, okay, here's a 5-year-old being fucked by a turtle.
Oh, God, look at that. Did you put that picture in there?
Yes.
Holy cow.
That's him bringing it to daddy.
Yuck.
Just horrible.
Yeah. Is that Russell Taylor at the door?
That's what I searched for Jared and Russell, and that's the picture that came up.
Nice.
I just threw that out there.
Look what Daddy has for you.
Yeah, Daddy's ready.
Right.
Yuck.
Yuck.